We have already built some code here for the hero character dot cpp and hero character dot h file. Build some functionalities. Why I didn't choose to create code along video, because those videos are pretty much are going to be pretty much long, so I don't want to post the overly long videos for this series. But don't worry, I'll go through this code and walk you guys through this code and explain each line of the code why I wrote. So let's begin with the hero character dot h file here. Let me put my headphone. Uh, Okay, so here we can see we have included all the necessary header file at first, because we're going to use their classes and also the functionalities in our hero character. So going forward, we have already forward declared all the classes that we are going to use in the hero character.h file. There are two section here. You can see the public and protected section. So the public section. So what does it mean? Basically, the public section, whatever the functionalities I have written up here. So these functionalities are going to be accessed, you know, outside of the class. Otherwise, everything should be accessed. I mean, from the inside of the class itself. So, so that's why we don't need these functionalities to be called or be accessed from the outside. So that's why I didn't put it in the public section. So in the public section, you can see I have defined the a hero character where we'll be setting up all the default values. Uh, this function is actually not necessary for our stuff here, but I'll keep it. If we don't use it, we can later remove this date code here. Um, this is really important. This is where we are setting up all the input values to our character. Uh, I'll go and explain the CPP how we're binding it, binding our inputs to our hero character here. So going forward to the protected section, so begin play when the player first spawn in our gameplay. This function is actually fires. That's why we keep this. Actually, it was there when these files were generated, so I keep it as it is. And you can see this overridden means this function is also, you can see this set up player input override means these functions are already being set up or the declare in the parent class, and the parent class of this hero, our hero character, is a character, so a character class. So these are already defined there, and I'm using it and overriding for our need. So going forward, we need to create some camera component, like we need to have some spring arm. So I'll be explaining the spring arm and the camera in the blueprint when I'll be creating the blueprint class out of this hero character C++ class in the Unreal Engine later. So for now, I can explain like this URL spring arm component we should be storing is as a in a pointer, because this returns, it will be storing address. So we need to point that particular address. So that's why we are going to use the pointer here. And as you can see, we are already setting up this decorator to get this pointer or get this variable, or use this variable blueprint itself. Same for the camera. The camera is an object, and it's this variable is storing some address. So we need to. That's why we need to, the type of the variable. I need to keep it as a pointer here. Now moving forward, these are the input components we need to set up, and these are also going we are going to also access these variables from the blueprint. So that's why I keep this decorator. So one thing we need to notice here, this is the visible anywhere, and the blueprint read only type of variable, uh, because we don't need to manipulate this spring arm component and the camera component from the blueprint. That's why I keep it as a blueprint read only, so we can only see it or read it from the blueprint class. But we need to edit these variables because we need to set, like you can see, I've set up a pointer for the default mapping context. So these is the input mapping context type. So when we'll be creating the input map context, and then we need to set up that particular mapping context into this variable. So in that particular way, we'll be able to um, we'll able to bind our input component or input keystrokes with our character. So these will be accessed from the blueprint, and we'll be setting it up one by one. For now, I'm just explaining the code why I written this. I haven't created any kind of input mapping or input actions. So we'll need to create later. For now, I'm just explaining this code to you guys. So moving forward, you can see there is a move action input, as well as the look action, jump action. So these are the going to be actions which this hero character will be possessing. So in order to control it through a controller, a player controller, we need to set up some variables here, and that needs to be accessible from the blueprint class. So that's why I have keep this decorator and make this as edit anywhere and blueprint read only. So we can edit this, means we can plug our plug our move action when we'll be creating in the blueprint into this variable. So that variable in, and we can use this variable in our cpu file, and then we can control our player with a controller, either with the keyboard or the joystick, whatever it is. So moving forward, so these are some important variables that have created. So this is the walk speed. So basically, our character needs to have a default walk speed, right? We can manipulate it according to our need, or according to our size of the player at first point. But for now, I've just randomly, uh, you know, um, assign a value to this particular variable. This is a float type of variable, and we can easily manipulate it from the blueprint. Okay, so moving forward, this is the sprint spirit. So when a particular character will be walking, and then shifting it to the sprint, the spirit of the character should not be the same as walk speed. So this should increment. So I also keep it random. I would need to tweak and adjust when we creating this blueprint class out of this character class, and attach our mess and see how the speeds are, and how the animation and the speeds are matching to in the gameplay. So after that, we can tweak it accordingly. So that's why I keep it that blueprint read and write, so we can also read and also write from the, manipulate these values from the blueprint. Uh, Same, the jump velocity, I keep it randomly, so later we can manipulate it. Also, this value is the air control. So all these default values will be defined. I mean, will be plugged in under this particular function up here. So this is the function we create because we need to initialize that particular player default movement values. So you can see we have this set up this walk speed, air control, jump velocity, this thing up here when the initially, I mean, for the initialization of the character. So these are the default values which will be possessing this particular character moment. So moving forward, here we are created this combat, few combat variables here. So this is the any montage attack montage variable. This is a pointer type as well, because we need to set up some any montage classes, blueprint classes with this particular variable, and that is why I keep it blueprint read and write and aid anywhere, so we can dock our any montage when we'll be creating the any montage blueprint classes, and we can dock those particular blueprint classes with this variable here in the character CPP, in the character blueprint class. So I'm not going to talk about it furthermore about this particular ending montage, why do you use and why we need this particular ending montage, because later in the later part of the videos when we'll be creating the ending montage blueprint class and use these functionalities properly, then we can have a explanation for this. I can explain this at that particular time. One of the other property which is really important, which is b is attacking variable, which is a blueprint variable, sorry, the boolean variable I have created here and also put it as a blueprint read only in the so we can see it in the blueprint class, and access it in the blueprint class. So basically, what is the point of this particular boolean variable is that suppose you have your character have some in some other state, like moving or sprinting or doing something else. Suppose you want to toggle to the attacking state, so in that particular time you can set it as a true, and later we can read, like suppose this particular character, whether this particular character is in attacking mood or not, attacking state or not, then we can also check this particular boolean value uh, to get the state of the um, get the attacking state of the particular character. So moving forward here, we have created these functions here. So these functions, you can see all the functions are self-explaining why they have been created. Like for the move function, we have created to create the movement functionalities with the your character should move with some keystroke, IWASD. So with pressing WASD, you want your character to move. So those functionalities are going to be, inside this move function, and your character should look around. So the look around functionalities should be there in the loop. So in the same way, we created the start sprint, stop sprint, toggle, crouch means your character can be able to crouch at any moment, and also the attacking functionalities. Also, you can see like we have already we need to have some values to pass into in order to create those functionalities in the functions, in the move functions, or the loop functions, or the sprint functions. So these value is actually a 2D axis value that are going to be passed in when a keystroke, or a key being pressed, for the movement, or for the loop, or for sprinting, whatever it is. So these values will be passed that particular point of time. So in the CPP file, you can see we have create some bind action for the movement. So you can see um this move function being called when move action is being triggered. So suppose you press in W in your keyboard, and that particular time, this is this move function will be called, and then a particular axis value, 2D axis value, will be passed in to this move function. So suppose you press the W or S or D, and that particular time there will be separate values, like hypothetically for W, if you press W, then it might pass X equal to 0, Y equal to 1. Suppose you pass if press A in your keyboard, and it might pass X equal to 1, Y equal to 0. So these kind of values are going to be passed as a as a if input vector value. And these values are going to be important in order to move, loop, or whatever the actions that are going to create for the for this character here. So we'll be coming to this function later. Let me first explain this, include whatever the header file that we have included first. So at first you can see we have already included this hero character.h in order to whatever we have defined, whatever the functions that we have defined, or whatever the you know variables we have defined, we need to use those variables, or create the functionalities, or declare those functions in our cpu file. So that's why we need to include this hero character.h file. And then all the header files that you can see here, the camera component, the spring arm component, the character movement component, capsule component.h, so enhance input.component. So we will going to use their functions and the variables. Everything will be needed in the cpp. That's why we have this included all the header files here. So moving forward to this function, we have I've already explained you why we need to create this particular function, because this function is acting as a constructor, and it runs when the Unreal Engine first creates a character. So to set the default values for the character, to initialize that particular character, we need to set up some default values for the character, right? So that's why we need to have this particular function here. So going forward here, you can see this is the capsule component I have created, or I haven't created the capsule component, because the capsule component is already there with the defined and declared in the character class, as our hero character class is a child of the character class, so we can directly use its functionalities. So I'm using the get capsule component to get the capsule component and use its properties, like you can see, like I'm setting up the capsule size, initial capsule size, or maybe the capsule size for the character when it's going to create for the first time. So for the capsule size, I've choose the radius should be 42 and the capsule height should be 96. That can be manipulated in the blueprint class when we'll be creating the blueprint class out of this character class, the hero character one. So now we are going forward to these three um, boolean boolean variable here. So these boolean values are also defined in the character class. So we're just setting up the values in using this variable. So what does it mean? So these three, why keep it false? Because if I keep it true, suppose then the camera can look around without rotating the hero directly. So our character needs to rotate when the camera rotates, right? So the camera should follow the character or the capsule's rotation. So because the capsule is the root component, so our character mace will be attached to the capsule component. So when the mace is rotating, the camera should rotate in that particular point, right? So that's why I keep it false. So that's why I keep it false. Yeah, otherwise, if we keep it true, then the camera can freely move without moving the mesh. So or without following the mesh, not moving, just following the mesh. It should follow the mesh or the root component.